this guy, Bible, this guy,
Ntabo. Ofunwana nwoke kwa. Kenna mbaka ọgụ. Onye ụmụoke ọkpa ọba. Na-ene isi ekete efu ihe ndị Ebubeagụ melie. Ndị Ebubeagụ Soludo melie ụnyaahụ. Nna ka ebe ha nọ isi n'ịfụ ha. N'ụmụ oji. Ebekwa nke ị na-eje mgbe ahụ.
Ikwu nne nka nne.
Oke nọ ikwu nne gị.
Abụ m onye ụmụ oji.
Onye tegodi iru gị ọfụma. So, mezie gị ha na imezi gị n'onwe ha si gị na.
Ma ego ma fon ma nwụrụ nke m.
Ha chịkọrọ ihe niile.
Ndị onwe kpọm afa.
Na ndị akpụchisi iru.
Ọ kpọm ezigbo afa ndị ekpuchisi iru. Onye akpọm afa nna m. Kpọkwa m obejiri ide. Ma ojizi ikpu epi iru wee maa mma n'aka. Na ihe ebe a.
So ibe anyị ọ na-afụgonu ka o si wee dị. So na anyị amakwa n'ife anyị eme mmadụ ka anyị esi wee ji ije a. Maka na anyị gba nkịtị egbusicha anyị. Opụta onye iru opụta onye azụ. Ndị nkwa anwụ erigwe nne. Anyị azọkwa isi onwe anyị. Biko nụ. Onwe ndị ọzọ efukwa ebe ahụ. Onwe ndị ọzọ efu ebe ahụ mgbe ahụ.
Onwe ndị faji bụta mara m ndị maka fa kecha ya anya. Ejide ara wee kechie mkpụrụ anya ya afọ ụzọ. Nọ na nyogidezi biko Grace gọvanọ nne m na nna m anọ. Wee nakọrọ m ego niile nje nata 88,000. Wee ruo na mmiri jọrọ kpọrapụ m. Nda tie ebe faji 2x2 chepịa gbu m.
Ndewo.
And obi m niile nkwa akwara kịta blood.
Nsogbu adịrọ. Onye ihe anyị ejikọ aka ọnụ wee mee. Na bụ na ya atọ na ndị yutu niile nọ na Anambra steeti kwụsị iji aka ha tụkọ aka.
Nweta na otego n'ụjọba agboro.
Ka ọ dịgodu.
Just to bring to you some of the situation reports across Biafra land. This is what is going on in Anambra. This situation is going on in the entire southeastern region, all the way from Anambra, Imo, Enugu, Abia, as well as Ebonyi states. Of course, it has gone beyond that, even in Iguacha, in River states, Delta states, Edo states, Bayelsa, Cross River states, Akwa Ibom, Benue states. These are the things that are happening. But it seems right now it's more of in the southeastern states. You cannot understand that this is a calculated attempt to which word would I use now to qualify it? Well, maybe to destroy the Igbo race. I think this is the best word I can use. This is a calculated attempt by the Zoo FG, the Zoo presidency, the Zoo Fulani government using Ebubeagụ. There is no other hoodlum in the Zoological Republic that is better than the Zoological Republic Police, Army, DSS, as well as civil defense. And now the Zoological Republic government is doing all their best because it seems that this is their last fight that they are fighting. And that is why they contracted the pig from the creek to continue doing these things. Let me now just break it down the more. The Ebubeagụ you are hearing, this is not the first time we are saying it. We've been saying it before now, that these are the boys of the Fulani of the presidency. They are the ones that recruited this, using the governors. And now at the latest part, the pig from the creek have to join his own group. So in that Ebubeagụ you are seeing, these are a combination of the military, the zoo police, the zoo DSS, and some of the SARS that are converted to Ebubeagụ, and some of the civil defense guys. And then all these other notorious guys, gangs, are being joined. This is one of the most formidable group of the Fulani Tea group. And their mission is to end Igbos. And that's why these things are happening. Why we are bringing this to you is for you to be at alert. You know, because Our people used to say that being at alert doesn't mean to be scared or afraid, but it's always good for you to be at alert. What our people didn't really understand is that when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was saying that these people will come, are you asking if they will come? Yes, they will come, and it's going to be bloody. In fact, it will rise to a crescendo that at a point, some people might even start contemplating of moving out from our own region. I mean, running away. The fact is that our people, or should I say most of us, didn't really comprehend the magnitude by this will happen. They tried the military, they couldn't really scale through. They used police, they couldn't scale through. They even used the Fulani from the Sahel, they couldn't scale through. Now, what they did was to liaise with the governors of the eastern region through a formation called Lebubago. So that's why I'm telling you, if you want, you doubt us. If you don't want, you continue to listen to us. These are real infiltrators who have really covered southeastern region. But then, we are not relenting. We are not relenting. All the strategies that IPOB is rolling out is really coming to play, and it will really do well. We are encouraging every one of us to remain steadfast. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it will happen, and this is going to be so difficult, a lot of us didn't really understand the extent by which these things will go. Now, in all the states in the southeastern region, let's leave the coastal part of the Biafra land because some of them are there, they are using them to join in doing this. All the way in these 5 southeastern region, this is what is going on today. So we want our youth, we want our able-bodied men to be at alert and to know how you trek, how you walk. This is the situation. And following that, you have seen as ESN has intensified their duty of protecting our farmland, protecting our forest. In fact, let me use this opportunity to give ESN another kudos because these are really, really great people. It's quite difficult sometimes to see such great mind. Of course, when you see a great mind, try to recognize them. These are people that really volunteer themselves to do this protection we are talking about. They are our own version of our own doom. Just like Israel has their own. These ESN, they are our own version. These guys, wherever you are hearing our voice, do not hesitate. When I say lend your support to ESN, I don't necessarily mean financially. Okay? When you are praying, if you wake up in the morning, you pray, you remember ESN. Or if you are going to bed, you pray, you remember ESN. Even if in the midday you feel like to reflect or to have a kind of inspiration, remember ESN. Because these are the guys that made us where we are today. If not the vision of IPOB, the vision of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the vision of DOS, do you know the mess we would have been in today? I tell you, at this point in time, maybe you don't have seen much people living in Biafra land again. So that is why supporting them means providing information at the necessary time. Do not hoard information that should be circulated. As soon as you hear these things happening, reach out to the nearest person you should communicate to. If you see things happening like that, if you hoard information, that means you are not supporting ESN. And when we say do not hoard information, at the same time we are letting you know, do not still give out fake information. It's very, very necessary. And that is why we are today. I thank them so much. I give kudos to them. And following that, you can see as level of insecurity is ravaging the Zoological Republic, both in the Capital Federal Territory, and you see the Zoological Republic Army is now being the one escorting the cattle. I wouldn't say the value they place on cattle because everything they are doing is they are using the rustling of their cattle to conquer territories. Now you can now understand when we say that the so-called herdsmen are the military, the police, the DSS, the civil defense. Look at them here. You see the military escorting cattle like the herders. And if I say like the herders, I think it's a misnomer. They are the ones, they are the headers you are hearing. So at night you see them change their clothes, but then they're still holding the equipment. So they go move from one community to another, deleting the masses, women, men, old and young. Because it is the Fulani, the Islam are really working hard. They are trying to get Biafra land. But we are here. We are doing all our quotas, the ones we can contribute. And that is the most important thing. And that's why we are telling our people, this operation Ibag must stop. You have to support it. How can you support it? Lending your voice. Lending your voice. Because if you fail to do the needful today, you do not know what happens tomorrow. If it will be on your own door that it will knock. You recall when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu used to say it, that when you see something happen to your brother, you laugh, you say, oh, it's not me. Oh, well, that's by the way, I feel pity for him. You go your way. So you fail to do what you're supposed to do by lending your support, raising your voice to say, this thing that happened to my brother, this thing that happened to my sister is wrong. By that time you keep silent is the same time you are inviting the same thing to knock out on your own door. So this campaign must have to be carried out to the final part of it until Ibag stops. We will not relax. It's necessary. I have a first-hand experience of late. A man gave up through his sickness, and this happened last week. His son was going to visit the family in order to pay homage to the father who gave up. A young son. He was going on the road. The next thing was the police to delete him. So police deleted this young man who was going to pay homage, visit the mother because of the death of his father. And he's the first son. Since 4 days now, the mother has been asking, where is his son? Is he not coming? Oh, has he not heard that his father is late? Where is his son? They tell her, he is coming. He is coming. After 4 days, what do you think the woman will do? She starts sensing that something is wrong. Every day that passes, the woman is asking about the son. Can somebody tell her what is going on? I just want you to, I'm not saying you should put yourself in such situation, but I want you to reflect upon this. It could happen to anybody. So this is the type of police you have in the zoo. Now you ask police, what really happened? A young boy that just passing, going his way, all of a sudden you just deleted him. What happened? Police started story. Insecurity for the fought back. Insecurity for... Where did you see insecurity? That is how police has been eliminating our youths. Do you understand what we are saying? So it could happen to anybody. And that is why we are calling on everybody to put your mouth. Lend your voice. Lend your voice. It will go a long way to help. On following that, we are bringing to your knowledge that the Zoological Republic military have released some of the abductees of the Kaduna train victims. And this one speaking here is Dr. Mustafa Omar. He is really narrating the things they passed through in the hands of these people.
The situation is really dire and terrible.
Okay, can you say about your experience in that place?
My experience is really terrible. I mean, you can see I just finished shedding tears of joy that I'm feeling. I mean, I have returned back and I'm going to be reunited with my family very soon. Now, quite frankly, it's not the experience I've been through in the last 4 months is not something I would like even my enemy to go through. Because I mean, there was barely food that I mean, for people to eat. We were hungry for the last three and a half months. I mean, we were quite surprised in the last 2 weeks. We actually, I mean, we started bringing food stuff that we ate, and we were actually okay in the last 2 weeks. But then for the first 3.5 months, we were actually very hungry. And when I say very hungry, this is an understatement. I mean, there were days that we go, I mean, just eating once. We ate once on certain days. And just imagine there are children that are barely 1 year, I mean, a child that is barely 1 year old and a 90-year-old person feeding once a day. Just do the math. Just do the math. I mean, when you talk about medication, I literally was the medical doctor on camp. I was treating the captives as well as the bandits, or I would say Boko Haram members. There wasn't medication. To be very frank with you, we heard on the radio somebody was claiming that they would bring medication whenever it was needed. There wasn't any medication on camp. I mean, we could go days. There was a day that a particular lady who had malaria. So malaria, you could treat malaria with 1,000 naira. But this lady literally was going into coma because there wasn't medication for her. I mean, there wasn't medication for her malaria. So the situation is really, really terrible. Really, really terrible.
Any molestation, beating?
Well, I personally did not experience any molestation, but then some women on camp claimed that there were attempts at molestation. But I personally did not experience this, and this happened in the first 1 to 2 weeks after we were held captive.
Your final advice to the federal government regarding the condition of the remaining captives?
Well, I would like to call on the government to do whatever is necessary to rescue these people, because these people are in a very terrible situation. Very terrible. They are very hungry. There is no medication. I mean, when we left.
Are you asking me if the military are the ones that abducted them? Yes, because the major part of the money, it was the military that received it. I said this is their own parts. So they released about 4 or 5 of them today. And you can listen to the voice of this Dr. Mustafa to hear when he is expressing what is going on. But sometimes what baffles me is that when these people still mess around, they come up, they start calling Nigerian government. Which other Nigerian government are you calling? The military that has taken up the role of rustling cattle in the daytime. You are seeing them. They are not hiding it again. And now, for how many months you guys have been there? They finally release you. You still start calling on government again. Why didn't government go and do the needful when it was necessary for them to do? You still have to go and find money to pay for the military to release you. And you came out, the government has been there. It's not as if the government doesn't know where these things are happening, because they are part and parcel of it. And you are still calling back the government. The government should do something. So many people have not come to understand what is going on in the Zoological Republic. Wonderful people, we thank you for listening. And we hope that you will do the needful. You will lend your voice when it is necessary. And of course, we say that it is in Biafra land that all of us have our citizenship. And until Biafra is fully restored, we will not rest. May you remain safe wherever you may be.